going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Eddie and this channel is called Hustle and Grow. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Appreciate everybody that's been watching and enjoying the content. Please, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can drop them in the comments below. This video specifically is in response to a comment because I didn't want to, it's just way too much to comment on, but I will answer the comments when I see them. And not only that, I do have a group that you can go to that if there's something specific that you need to be shown or anything like that, I don't mind taking some time out here and there, jump on a call with you and help you out. But having said that, this video in particular, I felt like was important because there are actually multiple parts to this comment / question that the viewer asked. So I want to talk about that real quick. So this is a question by Swearwolf, S-W-E-R-E, Wolf. Swearwolf, I like that. So Swearwolf says, I have a question. I'm trying to be a reseller, but my biggest issue is trying to get into the groove of taking pictures and listing. What stops me is trying to figure out the boxing situation on most items. Overall, my motivational level is really low, and I know I can make money from reselling, but I just have a hard time getting motivated overall. What keeps you motivated? How do you know what boxes to use on any given item, etc.? And so that was way too much to try to answer in the comments. So Swearwolf, I'm going to answer your question in the parts, okay? Because it's like at least 2 different questions, maybe 3 in there. But let me just say this. You say that you're a reseller and your biggest issue is trying to get in a groove of taking pictures and listings. Listen, there's no reason to feel bad about that because I think everyone who resells has to fight that don't want to aspect of listing and taking pictures. Just the everyday, the everyday mundane tasks that are involved in reselling. You shouldn't feel bad that you find it difficult to get in a groove. You said what stops you is trying to figure out the boxing situation on most items. So as far as the groove part and getting into a groove, I think a lot of reselling and I guess getting as much joy as one can possibly get from having to take photos and list items is actually taking photos and listing items that you actually enjoy taking photos of and listing. For instance, me, I hate clothes. I find it very difficult to have any type of desire whatsoever to sell clothes. On a scale of if I could sell anything as a reseller, where would clothes be? It would be down here somewhere. The only way I would sell clothes is if I could do it without listing it. So for instance, if I could like sell bulk clothes, if I could just throw them up on a rack, if I could do anything like that, I don't want to take pictures of it. I don't want to do all the items. I don't want to do none of that. If I was a clothing seller, I would feel exactly how you're feeling right now. I would have no motivation. I would find it very difficult to get in the groove, and I would probably stop because I hate it. And that was one of the biggest reasons I switched to the area that I'm in now, which is mostly health and beauty and cosmetics, and then some other stuff. I got some other stuff, but I actually enjoy this stuff. And while I don't always enjoy listing and taking images and pictures of those things, I can get through it because I enjoy it. And another thing that helps me through that is just having a process. Having things clean, having a process. If you got a messy area, that makes things more difficult. You're going to always be bumping into stuff. You're going to be knocking stuff over. Things are going to be in a way you can't find stuff. So try to have your area as clean as possible. Trust me, I don't always have my area as clean as possible, but try to have it as clean as possible and have a system. Maybe you batch. Here's what I do. I batch things. So for instance, I'll do all my pictures. And once I'm done with all the pictures, I'll upload all the pictures at once. Everything is at once. I don't do like a picture and upload and do a listing, or I don't break up the steps in the process. Everything is one step at a time. So it's all pictures, all upload in the pictures. Then when I get to the listing and drafting part, then I do that all at once, straight through. Okay. So I think probably the key to being able to enjoy as much as possible that one can enjoy the listing and photo aspect of reselling would be actually selling things that you enjoy, handling. I don't know exactly what you sell, Swearwolf, but maybe that's something you might want to look at. Do you even enjoy selling the things or thing that you're selling? And if not, maybe try something else. Try something else. And I'm not necessarily saying easy. I think with reselling, people look for easy. I say choose your hard, right? Choose your hard. Nothing's easy. None of this is easy. If it was easy, like everybody would be doing it. And it almost seems like everybody is, but the thing is, a lot of the people that do it don't do it right. And a lot of people that do it have the same challenges that you talk about in this comment. So maybe start there, reevaluate what it is that you're selling, and ask yourself, how much do you even really like dealing with that stuff, And if you're selling things that don't sell, that have very low profit margins, for me, a good amount of the things that sometimes I sell have low profit margins. So I understand that, and I understand that in order to make it work, I have to sell a lot. So for me, my hard, a lot of times, and I've been moving more towards trying to raise my average sell price for this reason, but my hard is the fact that I ship a lot of items. And that for me, it can be challenging sometimes because I'm shipping a lot by myself right now. At some point, I'm probably going to have to get some help, but as of right now, and I've been just working on my systems, and I feel like once I get to the point where I've gotten up earlier, I've got my systems to where I want it, and I'm still kind of not getting nothing done, then I'll bring somebody in. But I feel like I need to get the most out of myself first before I go get in somebody else. I don't know, maybe I digress a little bit there. But having said that, that for me is my hard. And I could send more stuff into Amazon and Walmart, but I have my own fears about letting them control so much of my resources and my assets, as far as like my money and my product, and something going wrong and have them both tied up. So, that's my thing there. But that's my heart. But the thing is, I like these types of items. Health and beauty, cosmetics, the small appliances, lawn and garden, some home stuff. I like hard goods, so I can deal with it. It makes it tolerable. Listing those items, while I don't always feel like it, because of the types of items that they are, it makes it tolerable, and it helps me to be able to get through it. So take a look at the items you're selling, the profit that they're making. You might just need to make some changes. And I think maybe if you make some changes to things that you figure out what you like, then figure out what about the things that you like to handle, what types of things you can find that make money. Because not everything that we like might be good for reselling necessarily. It might not be a market there, or a very good market. But if you can think of things that you don't mind dealing with, you don't mind handling, then you can think of, okay, well, I like these types of things. I feel like I can go ahead and do this. Well, what in this area, what in this category is profitable? What can I sell? Maybe start there. I hope that helps you as far as that part of your answer goes, or question goes. As far as you said, what stops you is trying to figure out the boxing situation on most items. You said overall your motivation is really low, and you can make money, but you just have a hard time getting motivated. And how do I know what boxes to use on any given item? For the most part, it just comes with doing, right? It depends on what you're selling. It depends. That's kind of a hard question to answer, but depends on what you're selling. If you're selling clothes, of course, you're going to be using a lot of poly bags and flat rate envelopes for the most part, right? There's no boxes involved in that. If you're selling bigger items, and this is one of the things about selling only specific types of items. I'm not going to say being an everything seller or niching down. I'm just going to say when you sell a specific type of item in a specific type of category or items, then you can get used to what it takes to ship those items. If I go from shipping a lotion, then to a golf club, then to a VCR, well, all of those require different types of shipment. For instance, a lotion or a shampoo, I always put tape over it to make sure the cap doesn't pop, and I put it in a bag. And there's certain types of boxes I can use to make sure it doesn't get smashed and come out, right? That's different. For a golf club, well, that's a longer item. Now I need a whole different type of box for that, right? And you got to figure that out. And those types of rates went up. for a VCR? Well, not only do you need a box that fits it, but you need the box to be a little bit bigger, and you need to pack that thing so it doesn't, like, you got to kind of ship it so that it's floating. So you kind of surround the VCR and those types of items so that they can't bang up against the walls of the box. So like, there's challenges and nuances about shipping items that you only learn by shipping those items over and over and over again. So if you're finding yourself having difficulty figuring out what to ship or how to ship certain items, maybe you need to narrow your focus a little bit more and getting used to shipping maybe just one specific type of item. And as you learn the nuances with shipping that type of item, then you can ship other items. So for me, I use mostly envelopes, right? Bubble mailers, bigger size bubble mailers. I do got a lot of different boxes. I look at the cheapest option that's going to still allow the item to make it there safely. So for instance, I can put a shampoo in a bubble mailer, but is it going to get there safely? Well, if you buy stuff from Amazon, a lot of times it actually does, but just my luck, it won't. So I use a smaller box. But a lot of this stuff I learned just over time. Like I learned that I can save a lot on shipping by even getting things in these 10 by 7 by 3 boxes, right? That are liquids. And if it costs too much to ship weight wise, just in the box by box dimension, this actually fits in a padded flat rate mailer. And so that makes it automatically $8.30, even if otherwise I would be paying $10. But I only learned that through trial and error and over time because I handle these items on a daily basis. And so the only thing I can say is try to handle only specific types of items for a certain time and play around with different ways to ship it, and you'll learn the pricing and what it costs to ship this to here, and maybe you can finagle some things and make it even cheaper. But if you're always changing up what you're selling, it's going to take longer. Yeah, you'll figure it out, but it's going to take longer. It's going to cost you more because you're going to make some mistakes. I remember one time, man, and this was back when I really first got started. I shipped some stuff in a board game priority box, right? And I didn't pay attention. I didn't know. I didn't pay attention. Come to find out, the board game box was a flat rate box. I had like 4 items that got adjustments from the post office to a flat rate. I think they made it like a large flat rate. Something like, I don't know, it was like $10 extra per order. I was sick. It was like $40 something, man. And nothing I can do. I went back and ended up looking at the boxes, and sure enough, that's what it was. But I didn't know. You know, that was a hard lesson to learn. But like stuff like what I was using that box for, I don't even really deal with that type of stuff no more. Every once in a while, I'll get stuff that's kind of weird to ship, but for the most part, I've been dealing with the types of items I've been dealing with long enough to know how I can ship it, what I can get away with, and I almost always have an idea of how I'm going to ship it before I ship it, and probably how much it's going to cost, regardless of where it's going in the country, weight-wise. But I only know that because I've been doing this for a long time. And so I would suggest to you and this kind of answers both of your questions as far as your motivation and all of that. It's just that find something you like actually yourself, you like to deal with, you like to handle, you don't mind sourcing, deal with those things, come up with an easy process for taking your pictures and creating your listings. There's all types of tips and tricks on the internet. I got some videos. There's videos all over on how to list faster, how to take photos faster, but do what you like first. And then try not to do too much too fast, okay? Focus on a specific category maybe, and learn the nuances of dealing with those items, handling them, and how to ship them, the best ways to ship them, the ways you can save money, the safest ways to ship. If it's clothes, it really don't matter. Like I said, it's like poly mailers and flat rate envelopes. That's pretty much all you're dealing with there. Ain't no breakage or nothing. That's easy. But you might not like dealing with clothes, you know, and maybe you selling clothes, and that's probably why you kind of depressed, because selling clothes is depressing as far as I'm concerned anyway. But that's just my opinion. But maybe switch up to some hard goods or something. And when it comes to shipping liquids aren't hard to ship. I like doing it because I know a lot of people don't like it and they think it's like this. I very, very, very rarely have an item arrive where a customer complained that it was leaking all over. And I really don't do a lot. Like I said, I might put tape over the cap and put it in a plastic bag and throw it in probably a box type of thing and ship it off. No problems there. And you also asked, because you said overall your motivation is low, and what keeps me motivated? What keeps me motivated? And that's a very good question. What keeps me motivated? There's a few things. And I think that goes to answering the question as to your why. Why are you doing this? For you, I don't know why you're reselling, okay? You might need to ask yourself why you're reselling. I don't know if you're doing it because you need to or because you want to. I feel like needing to and wanting to, first of all, are two totally different types of mindsets, okay? Needing to is like desperation mode, right? Wanting to is like you want to and you don't really need it, but you'll do it. It's like a hobby. You know what I mean? But my motivation is because I need to, not because I want to, because this is my full-time income, right? So I need to. But what also motivates me, what my why is that I was doing restaurant management for like 10 years. And I spent a lot of time in those restaurants, a lot of time. And it was a very, very, very high stress situation. I was a general manager at 3 separate locations over that time span. And I missed a lot of things with my kids. And while I don't really keep track of my hours, I just I get, when work needs to be done, I get it done. And that's that. I don't really worry about it because I always told myself when I left the restaurant, I said, man, if I can give these people 50 plus hours a week of my time, I'm not even about to worry about, like, that's the minimum that I'm going to do for myself is 50 plus hours a week because I'm trying to get somewhere. And so my why is freedom, to be able to say, okay, I don't care if I worked 50, 60 hours this week in my reselling business, but guess what? Every time my kids had something come up, something with school, some event, I can stop and put that to the side and go do that. And then like in the restaurants where it's like, man, I ain't got the staff, or this is happening or that's happening, I just can't make it for various reasons, right? It's like I have control over that. So it don't matter how much I work so much as the fact that I can stop when I want to stop, do what I want to do. If I say, hey, I'm gonna get some work done this morning, go, and I got some football games to go to with my sons, and if I want to, I can come back later and finish. If not, I'll finish tomorrow. You know, it does take discipline and work, but that's my why is that I didn't start this to get rich, because you ain't gonna get rich. Definitely not rich quick doing this. But it was the freedom to make my own decisions, to be able to control my schedule and to go from there, and to use this as a segue into other things later on down the line, into other businesses and things like that. So I think your motivation is going to lie in answering the question why. Maybe you just want to do this part-time. Maybe you only need to do this part-time. I don't know if you're doing it full-time, but it ain't for everybody. Full-time is not for everybody. Maybe a job, and then maybe you do a part-time and you use the part-time income to supplement your income or to like pay down debt and to do other things. And that might be what makes it even more enjoyable, is that, okay, you got this job and you might not even have to work as much because you can do the reselling on the side too to supplement that income. And so it's like you kind of alleviate stress on two sides. You alleviate the stress of trying to do reselling full time. You also really alleviate the stress if you don't really want to work 40 plus hours a week for somebody else either, right? You might say, hey man, I'll do 25, 30 hours a week for y'all. And then, you know, the rest you're going to make up on reselling. And so figure out why you want to do it. What's your motivation? Your motivation could be, hey, I like Barbie dolls. You know what? I'm going to find the rarest Barbie dolls that sell for whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know. But find something you like. Find something you don't mind selling. Find something you don't mind sourcing. Find something that interests you. And build that around a why. Okay, maybe you want to save to be able to take a vacation every year. Maybe you want to save to make sure you can pay for your gas every week, because gas prices ain't going down either, or so you can buy some milk. I don't know, man, but You want to save for retirement, right? Maybe you got to pay off some credit card debt. You know, you can structure it to where you have like multiple steps to this, where you say, you know what, I got 4 things I want to do. I'm gonna pay off this credit card debt. I'm gonna pay off this vehicle. I'm gonna pay off my house, pay off these student loans, whatever it is, right? And so reselling for you while you still working your job, if you have a job, reselling for you now becomes a tool that it's like, okay, you know what? I ain't under the pressure of this being my full-time income and still trying to make sure I get out of debt. I got the job, that'll take care of my bills and my life. And reselling over here is going to help me get these debts off my back. And so you always working towards something. If you want to take a vacation, you got this extra money. You're not pulling from, you know, the income that's coming from your job. And so for me, my motivation is that to be able to have the freedom to make my decisions, to control spending time with my family, and to use this as a way to open up doors for other opportunities for me. And there's things that I would do differently, and I made a video about that when it comes to transitioning from that job into reselling. But I mean, I've been here now for years, so it don't matter. But there's things I would do differently. One of the things that I said that I would do differently is I would have been a little more patient so that I can pay down more debt, especially my student loans. I would have kept working that job, and I should have paid those off. I really should have did. That was a mistake on my part. But you know, it is what it is. But that's one of the main things I would tell people is that if you haven't gone full-time reselling and you considering it, don't do it if you got debt. Keep your job, use reselling, resell on the side, pay that debt off. Don't go into reselling with any type of debt, student loan or otherwise, even if you got a house, because it's just less stressful. You don't want to have to worry about your daily living expenses and paying this debt. Like, I kind of did it, I think, a little smartly, because I saved up enough, a year's worth of salary and some. And so I kind of put myself in a position to be able to have some wiggle room if things went wrong. And then after that, it's just like, I ain't got no choice now, right? So I'm one of those type of people, like, I believe in the philosophy, like, burn the ships. We ain't going back. Burn the ships, man. We either gonna sink or swim. We right here, right now. Sometimes it works out good for me, and sometimes it come back and bite me in the ass. Oh, man, but look, Swear Wolf, I hope that answers your questions. Find something you like to sell. Find something you can tolerate listing and taking photos of. Don't do stuff just because people say it, just because people say it makes money, just because people say this is the way to do it. Don't put yourself under no listing constraints or time constraints. Do what makes you happy. If listing 3, 4, 5 items a day makes you happy, list 3, 4, or 5 items, right? If you can do it in a day, do it in a day. If you can do it at night, do it at night. But do what you like. Make a schedule that fits your lifestyle and build from there. And don't try to do a bunch of stuff at once, right? Focus on certain things. That way you'll learn how to ship those things, and things will start coming to you as you go along, okay? I hope that helps you out, and I hope that helps out anybody else listening to this video. Do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified next time I upload another video.